Hello friends and gamers, and welcome to the first episode of PS4 Spoilers. This is Wazamil with the PS4 Trophies YouTube channel. I'm excited to bring you a new show, and I want to thank the many of you who have watched some of my many video guides I have provided for you over the past few months. I will still continue to provide those guides. I figure what the hell, let's give my viewers some new and better content. So for all of you who have subscribed and supported my channel in the past, I want to say thank you. And to those just now joining the family, welcome. This will become a regular series that'll be all about the PlayStation. In this episode, we'll take a look at upcoming releases, PlayStation news, and we'll include a fun viewer poll that involves two of our favorite characters from within The Last of Us and The Walking Dead. I'll end things with a review on the critically acclaimed game from Naughty Dog, The Last of Us. So please comment on any of the content within this episode or just general feedback within the comment sections below. I do greatly appreciate everyone taking the time to watch this pilot episode and of course comment, like, and or subscribe. And let's kick off our first segment by looking at the upcoming releases. Dynasty Warriors 8. This releases in North America on July 16th and July 19th in Europe. This game was already previously released in Japan back in February of this year. Time and Eternity. This releases in North America on July 16th. This has already been previously released in both Japan and Europe. Also releasing on July 16th is Turbo Super Stunt Squad. This is based on the DreamWorks animation movie Turbo.
Turbo and his crew. Whiplash. Here I come. Skidmark. Yes. Burn. Woo-hoo! Smooth move. Tricked out, baby. It's turbocharged action like, hey, I made it. From the Enchanted Forest.
Skipping ahead a week and looking at July 23rd, The Smurfs 2, another movie tie-in game.
Join with your friends and Smurf Gargamel's mischievous naughties. Did everybody Smurf that?
And now it's time for PlayStation news. Sony Worldwide Studios president Shuhei Yoshida stated via his Twitter account that the light bar on the PlayStation 4 DualShock 4 controller can't be turned off. What gets me is people are actually complaining about this. You have people saying, well, it's going to decrease battery life, or it's going to create a reflection on my television screen. Silly complaints if you ask me, and the only explanation I have is through this guy's neighbor. Drive Club developer Evolution had mentioned recently that the game will ship without weather effects and that it'll have to be patched in after it ships. Really? We're still shipping unfinished games? Fine, let's add this to the already long list of games that have failed to ship before it's had time to finish. Hey Evolution, let me help you guys out. I took your trailer for the game and went ahead and added my own weather. What you think? Big congratulations to Sony and Naughty Dog for selling 3.4 million copies of The Last of Us in its first 3 weeks on sale. Very impressive for an exclusive game and a new IP. And now it's time for a viewer poll, and I have one question. Who is more badass, Joel from The Last of Us or Rick from The Walking Dead television series? Put your vote in the comments below. Speaking of The Last of Us, there's no arguing that this is one of the best games the PlayStation 3 has ever had released for it. They always say that when new hardware comes out, it takes several years before developers really can maximize it. And with The Last of Us, I think it's fair to say that this is the best the PS3 is going to offer. You take the stunning visuals and pair it up with the great writing and gameplay, and you have candidate for Game of the Year. Scratch that, you have the Game of the Year. Perhaps its biggest disappointment, however, is that it's not the most original story. How many times have we seen in games or in the movies where mankind is near its end and there's only one person who can save humanity? It's quite a similarity to the box office bomb Waterworld. If some of you are too young to remember that movie, then let's take a look at a more relevant character who is also tasked with saving humanity. That's better. But that is just the background story of this game. And if you thought the game was about taking a little girl to a location where scientists can find a cure for an infection, then you'd be wrong. This is about the relationship between two strangers, a man named Joel and a girl named Ellie. Naughty Dog did such a superb job in developing this relationship. When the two first meet, it's clear that their partnership is nothing more than a job, or a mission, I guess if you will. Conversations between the two are short and without emotion. There's no trust between the two. But by the end of the game, that relationship becomes more kind of father-daughter like. And this isn't the first game to have that type of relationship develop, but this is the first time where you see it evolve over time in such a believable manner. There's not that one moment where just suddenly the game skips forward and it's like, oh, hey, now they're friends. It's such an amazingly smooth and believable transition. The only thing more beautiful than the pairing of Joel and Ellie is the environment itself. No, there's nothing picturesque about a world that has had society turn in the ruins, but the way Naughty Dog presents that fallen world is spectacular. But I don't speak for everyone, except I'm going to speak for everyone, but there's not one person who has played this game that just hasn't stopped and just looked around and admired the beauty. There's so much detail put into this game, and it can become distracting to the continuation of the story itself. For example, I was in the museum and found myself needing to save two people that were with me who were trapped in another section of a museum. But unbeknownst to them, but knownst to me, I was looking around at various collections within the museum, marveling at how much was spent in creating the area. I could just picture the other NPC characters saying to themselves, where the hell is Joel? Meanwhile, I'm staring at a trinket from the Oriental in a fancy ornate display case. And this game is filled with full environments, so much so that they created numerous areas that aren't even part of the main path. Side areas that no one has any business visiting unless you were searching for one of the game's 141 glitchy collectibles or desperately seeking crafting materials. If they cut out all these extra areas, you could take all of those resources and create an entirely new game from just those that would still be larger in scale than many other games out there. Expect to play this game for about 15 hours during your first playthrough and be amazed every second of the way. Subsequent playthroughs will cut a few hours off of that, but you won't be any less amazed. For the Platinum Trophy, you'll need 3 playthroughs, or 2 if you use the Survivor Plus trick. More information on that if you wanted to go visit ps3trophies.org. Go to the Last of Us forum, and you'll find more information about there. I'll also put a link to it in the description below. So this is the first game where I haven't actually hated the developer for making me play the game more than once. And don't get me started on how they don't unlock the hardest difficulties from the start. That's something that really irritates me. But in this case, I was okay with it. Alright, spoiler alert here. I'm just going to kind of talk about the ending. So, spoilers. Don't say I didn't warn you. Of course, the name of this show is called PS4 Spoilers, so there's that. But the one point of contention many people have is with the ending. And I'd like to hear what you thought in the comments. Did you like it? Did you hate it? Did Joel make the right choice? I thought it was fantastic, and in my opinion, this was Joel's only choice. Let me explain. Remember that little girl Sarah in the prologue, and what happened to her? She was your daughter. Did you catch just how painful the memories were for him, just even 20 years later? The whole game was about how Joel and Ellie's relationship and how they became so important to each other. They became so close that Ellie was like a daughter to Joel. 20 years ago, Joel lost his real daughter, a memory that has haunted him for 20 years. So the ending paralleled the beginning, but this time he had a choice. Emotionally, Joel made the decision that he thought was right. And you and I can scream at our TVs all day long and at our PlayStations about how he was risking the survival of the human race. But Joel made an emotional decision, and if he had made the opposite choice, I would have been left scratching my head. It was brilliantly crafted, and everything that happened all the way up until that ending explained that ending. The ending kind of actually reminded me of this movie. Alright, I'm going to tell you the most disappointing part of this game. This is not really part of the game itself per se, but that's the trophy list. Yeah, I know, who cares? Well, I do for one. and let's just assume half of them weren't glitchy. There are 24, and I'm okay with that. However, 8 of them are tied to just finishing the game on specific difficulties. If you include shiv doors, optional conversations, and toolkits needed to upgrade weapons, there are 8 collectible related trophies, and basically the list is completely unimaginative and boring. In fact, one of the worst I've probably ever seen. But add to the fact that at the time of this recording, that the game's tracking system for the collectibles is glitchy for many people. It's just unacceptable. Even the official strategy guide that is supposed to be a supplement got a lot of information wrong. And when some of the solutions for these glitches include deleting the patch, playing offline, restarting checkpoints, standing on your head, doing the hokey pokey, that's a sign that maybe you should take a second look at the coding. Alright, trophy nonsense aside, The Last of Us is a great piece of art. It's not often that we get new IPs that hit this well. It's safe to say that we'll probably see several games from this world throughout the entire life of the PlayStation 4. I'm not going to touch on the multiplayer aspect that's within this game. I personally thought it was okay, but it didn't hit me in the same way that the single player campaign did. It's because of the average multiplayer component and the ridiculous trophy disaster that I'm going to rate this a 9.5 out of 10. It's still a platinum level game, and everyone who owns a PlayStation 3 should play this game. And if you don't own a PlayStation 3, this game alone is worth the price of the console. Alright, so that'll do it for the first episode of PS4 Spoilers. Again, my name is Walzamil with the PS4 Trophies YouTube channel. I do encourage you guys to like, subscribe, comment down below, share this on your social media, get the word out there. If you guys like this, I'll continue doing it, and thank you for watching.